regarding C# and programming language in general. So if students want to start learning programming, would you recommend statically typed language like C# or more dynamically typed language like Ruby or IronPython or something like that?
That's a good question. There are definitely arguments for both, right? Dynamic languages are often simpler and the type system doesn't get in your way, so it may be easier to get to your first running program. And I think that's one of the good values of dynamic programming. It's easy to get something running that does something right. And if you look at especially sort of interactive environments like Squeak or Self that used to be around that are dynamic languages with the whole IDE and graphical environment around them that you can sort of just interact with. That's a great way to know how programs are structured internally and how to do things in there. The problem with those is that there's a lot of stuff in there and there's a lot of things you can do, but they don't help you very much.
Right.
If you use a statically typed programming language as your first one, you have great tool support. You have wonderful IntelliSense and type checking and everything, and so you get a lot of feedback that's more targeted at what you want to do. So even though it may be harder to get to a running program to get to the first program of your life in a static language, in a way it also tells you more and teaches you more, I think, because of the rigid feedback that it gives you. So on balance, I would probably recommend a statically typed language. But maybe C# shouldn't be your first language. I don't know, maybe, I don't mind educational languages or languages that are very, very small, but I think static typing is a good thing to see early.
Okay.
Now, given that, learning programming is one thing, but if you're a student of programming, if you're a computer science student or whatever, you should look at tons of languages anyway. You should make sure, actually, I think that's a problem sometimes with a lot of, without trying to get political and everything, but a lot of bachelor programs in computer science sometimes tend to become a little too narrow in the terms of the languages that they expose people to. I'm not saying everybody should code in C# or even on .NET. I think you should try vastly different things, because programming itself, for instance, which is something that's completely out on the fringe, gives you great insight about what it is you're doing in your usual programming language because of all the contrasts. You should just have all those contrasts and play with lots of things.
Yeah, we notice it at our local universities as well. So it's mainly targeted at Java, and that's basically the only thing we learn. And putting the faces. Well, it's exactly.
At least if it's only one language, let it be C# and not Java.
Yeah, that was my point. But yeah, it's a bit. Too bad actually, so that we only learn one language, I think.
I think that's a problem. I suppose I'll be plugging our wares a little bit here, but one of the things that we're quite proud of in this release round is that we are sort of broadening out our portfolio of languages to have more reach. Like we have the IronPython, IronRuby languages, which are dynamic languages running on .NET, and we have F#, which is a functional language, and so it's sort of a smoother transition for someone who wants to try multiple languages. They can do it on the same platform. They can reuse their code between projects in different languages and have the same editor experience and so on. And I think lowering the bar for people trying to do things in multiple languages, maybe even having projects that live on that are in multiple languages, I think it's interesting, and also from a teaching perspective, lowers the bar for maybe that's something that can make it easy enough that you can actually reintroduce more languages to even the short programs in computer science. So we are proud of that. I'm extremely pleased to see F# come out as a product and target that huge, especially in academia, there's a huge base of functional programmers looking for the ability to do real things. They love the languages, but they can't do real things because they don't have libraries, and now they can. And so hopefully maybe that can change the teaching landscape as well, or at least change the interest of the students. And I'm optimistic that it will.
Okay. And your favorite feature of C#4?
Well, that is dynamic.
Yeah?
Yeah, it is, because it's so many cool things come together, and there's so much integration across languages, and the common infrastructure really, I suppose I should almost say the DLR is my favorite feature, even though it's not a feature. The way the DLR team designed that the shape of that API, the generality of it, the way it unifies everything, it's just freaking cool. Yeah. Really, really cool. I encourage everyone who loves great APIs to take a look at that and see how it's structured. The way that it caches things by regenerating delegates and so on, without a single favor done to them by the CLR team. It's all in library. Just flabbergasted. It's awesome. And it's been a pleasure to target that in C#.
Great. So, well, thanks, I guess, for the interview.
Thank you.